Meeting of the Preservation Board is now in order. I will call the roll such as it is. Commissioner Fassman, are you here?
I'm here.
Commissioner Visentino, are you here?
I'm here.
Are there other commissioners I don't see here? Apparently not. We will begin. Commissioners, have you seen the agenda?
Mr. Chair, we have one that's left to withdrawal. Item D has been deferred.
Item D is in dog?
No, B is in boy.
Okay. Is B is in doy?
B is in Barbara.
Okay. That I understand. Okay, commissioners, you see the agendas as amended. I think I will wait till more commissioners arrive and consider the minutes at the end of the next meeting.
Okay.
At the end of this meeting.
Okay, and then, you know, here we need to agree to change the date of our May meeting.
Okay.
I don't think anything was.
I'm getting, but we will do that. I don't know if we have more commissioners here. Calling agenda item A, 1809 to 11, rear. Staff 11.
Give me a couple of
Okay.
having a technical issue. Where did you
7? What did I say?
You are.
Oh, I moved it. Stop. 7. Thank you, Commissioner. Wait. According to the record, President Commissioner Richardson will like to accuse himself of all agenda items. From no agenda items. Donna, I liked it so much better in the pre-technology days when we had pigeons act out each of these things, and we did it with shadow puppets. Remember that?
No. That was like before my time.
I don't think so.
Thank you.
I don't think there was much time before your time, was there? Oh. Wait, was that me?
It was very not. But it wasn't directed at me, so I don't know. Not nice at all.
Okay, I think I'm ready. I apologize. This is a preliminary review application. We do not have the demolition permit application in front of us. Just want to let you know that. Why? Nothing is being entered into the record. This is not an appeal. But it is a reconsideration request for the demolition of 1809 rear South 7th Street. These photos are taken this morning. They are upstairs. This roof has collapsed in. The last time the board looked at this and denied the demolition, that was in 2013 in October. So that was essentially 18 months ago. On that site, there is a front building. It's 7th Street. This is the building as best I could get it from 7th Street. The yard is very overgrown. And if you have very good eyes, you can see that some of the roof has collapsed and the dormer is actually looking backwards. That's the dormer. It's backwards. And that's the front building. And more close-up of the damage of the parapet. Now, this is a comparison shot, and I wonder if So this is the comparison. The top is the building in October, and the bottom is built today. So we've lost a small bit of brick here, small bit of brick here, down here. But essentially, there has not been a major change in the exterior wall of the building. This is the site looking down the alley, just to show you that there are residential buildings on this particular alley that are used and well maintained and viable. And the front building. Now, part of the proposal as mitigation to demolition, the owner wishes to do some rehabilitation work on the front building, replace this retaining wall, which is on the adjacent side yard, which is collapsing into the street. Also, there's substantial damage to the sidewalk. Proposes to do a stone retaining wall with a wrought iron fence so that in order to be able to use the side yard for events and other issues. But what will replace the building itself is parking path. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. And I will just quickly go through the requirements of the two demolition ordinances. The two large parts, which essentially adopt our preservation review demolition ordinance with some minor changes. And the relative sections would be architectural quality on the National Register as a contributing building. I will say, and decide the tax credits are available to assist in rehabilitation. And it is considered to be a merit property under the definition of the ordinance. It is also considered sound in that it has stood for 18 months without collapse. It is a rear alley building, so neighborhood potential, as I showed you, is viable, particularly too large, where these buildings are considered to be a cachet kind of development. The potential of rehabilitation. What you have before you is a package submitted by the owner, which includes various documents, one of which is a review by Frontenac Engineering, which I've quoted essentially in full the relevant parts of this in your agenda. Essentially, they say the building is in very bad shape and down to the foundation. There are no particular details as to why other than the building has taken water. I'll also point out at this point that since the Preservation Board's review in October of 2013, nothing has been done to the building to stop that water. Also in the package submitted by the owner is projected cost of rehabilitation, which would be deconstruction of the brick walls and a replica of the building, which is estimated to be close to $400,000. Estimated income on 2 rental units that it would provide would be about $6,000 a month. Tax credits, of course, would not be available for the total reconstruction of the building. You need to keep at least 75% of the exterior walls in order to qualify. Again, this proposed demolition of buildings of unique or significant character and importance to the district, which an alley building would certainly qualify as, is critically important to the special character of this new license. And finally, the proposed subsequent construction have also an assessment of the improvements to the front building and also to the side yard of the building. And I believe that they will talk more about that in their presentation. And essentially, the ordinance requires that proposed construction that follows the demolition will be compatible with the street block space, and the construction department would not qualify for that. And then finally, the proposed construction will commence within 12 months from the application date, and I have no information regarding that. I've also submitted a letter from the Lead Restoration Group. It's actually the same letter that we received in October of 2013. It says, "I will support the demolition of the alley building if certain requirements are done to the front building and the side yard and the existing lot." And I also have a letter from the Landmark Association that supports our recommendation, which is the demolition be denied.
Commissioners, questions? Thank you. Mr. Wyatt?
Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I appreciate the staff of the Cultural Resources Office, all the work that they've done on this, and the opportunity to speak to you today on behalf of Des Moines Building. When this building collapsed, we were unaware of the fact that the roof was in worse shape than we thought. When the building in the rear did collapse, we immediately started evaluating the front building. And since for the last 2 years, based on the structural engineer's recommendations, we have been spending money on the front building to make sure that it doesn't suffer the same fate as the back building. We've approximately in the last 2 years, we spent about $36,000 on structural reinforcing, platforming, new roof structure, et cetera, et cetera. But also, in the interior established at the structural engineer's recommendations, we've put steel I-beams in steel channels, tying the structure inside to the brick structure, and put in reinforcing stars to stabilize the structure. We proposed spending another $57,000 on the property to make improvements on the side lot, completely redo the front of the building, and also do the back porch area, back deck area on the front building. And I think you probably got the summary of that in your packets. The basic issue here is whether or not the alley house should be demoed. It is an historic district, and hindsight being 2020, I wish I had been more attentive to what was going on with that structure. We had boarded it up, it was occupied, and the tenant moved out, and unfortunately trashed the property before they finally were evicted. We at that point, it was about 2008, was not good times. So we boarded the building up and basically just felt we would leave it alone until times got better and we'd renovate it. Unfortunately, the deterioration of the roof happened, and that's basically where we are today. We did, as Ms. Cameron stated, we did employ a structural engineer who looked at the building, gave us his evaluation, and as he said before, the recommendation was to take the structure down all the way to the level foundation and rebuild it in kind that way. We had a contractor evaluate what it would take to rebuild the structure, and we came up with a number of about $300,000+ to put it back. We did an analysis of that and basically determined that just to break even, we would have to get $1,500 per unit to just cover the basic cost of that reconstruction. We had went at the market for rentals in the Soulard area and did an analysis, and that should be included in the packet as well. And we found that this building, after completed, getting the necessary rents to cover costs, would be about twice as much as any other rentals in the Sioux area based on both rent per square foot and the cost of per square foot for monthly rents. We're in a dilemma. We would like to make it a financially viable project, but we can't make some of the numbers work. It's like, if it worked, we'd do it. We wouldn't be talking to you today asking for a demo if we could make the numbers work on restoring the property. But the engineer said that there has been a separation in the brickwork and that the walls are completely unstable. I just don't know how else to put it. It just doesn't work financially. If it would, you know, we would be restoring it. We wouldn't have been restoring it before. We could not access the building because of it was unsafe to go in the building to do anything to help protect the building from any further deterioration from 2012 until present time. I talked to a number of contractors, and they would not touch it.
Assuming the unit rehabbed, what do you think you could get in rent for that?
I would have to get to break even. I would have to get $1,500 a month per unit. Maybe $3,000.
That's to justify $396,517.
Right. When you add in all the associated costs, and then your debt service, etc. That's what it has to do. Break even.
My question actually starts from the other end. What do you think you could get in rent for the unit where they rehabbed? You don't think you could get $1,500? What could you get?
I probably could get $750 based on the other comparables. The other comparables we looked at in the area. $750 might be possible. It might be a stretch because they would be a little over 512 square feet. They're small.
At that rent, how much of a rehab project could you finance?
Probably about 150 to 175,000.
That's net of historic tax credits, or is that not including historic tax?
That's not including tax credits.
David, how much was that?
Yes, that's $175,000 also cost. So 25% is a rate to pay for the federal, but could be used for the federal being question.
We did an analysis using the full project without any tax credits. We didn't apply the tax credits, Missouri state tax credits, and ran an analysis. It still didn't work. And then we added on the federal credits just because I was curious as it would make any sense financially. And it didn't work in that scenario either.
Commissioner's question? Thank you, sir. Philip Durham.
Hello, I'm Mr. Wyatt Arthur. One point of clarification for the specification we gave the contractor who did his project. It was based on a non-complying interior for the building, as in if the state and federal tax credits were applied to the project, the interior renovation costs would be substantially higher than what we showed. We were just doing base, sort of standard Solar, low-budget rental units. So the numbers are thrown off a little bit. I don't think it's a huge difference in numbers, but it would be, it would cost more to do the interior than what we asked the contractor to price for us. And I do think the contractor's price is legitimate based on our standard spec for renovating buildings. I think the only thing that's really up to debate is whether the building has to come all the way down to the foundation. Certainly the second floor, because it's only double white, and the brick walls are completely separated. Where we know we're definitely going down to the main level. To the first floor level, I think we're probably, to get solid brick, we're going much lower than that, but we were conservative in our numbers. The other thing I would argue, as much as as a Solar resident and owner of a property in Solar, we hate to see anything go. And I also understand the board doesn't like horse trading, for good reason. I will say that I think the trade-off proposed here, where we substantially improve the 7th Street building and the lot adjacent to it, I think the exchange makes the front building more economically viable, but more importantly, really improves the street front along 7th Street. And as a Soulard resident, I think one of our greatest problems in Soulard is the fact that the view of the neighborhood along 7th Street is particularly depressing. So I think that's a worthwhile exchange to debate whether the improvement we can get to the 7th Street base helps make the whole project viable. And as a landowner myself and someone who even with a successful business and good rental income, has a hard time maintaining my building at times. I think it's kind of a good economic argument that by taking down the alley house and making the rest of the property more useful, we can help the front building be maintained properly. Not the best argument in the world, but I think it's actually fairly important in this case.
Any questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great. Trying to think if I've spoken out loud or if I just said it in my head. Commissioner Richardson usually tells me when I speak out loud, often when I speak out loud out of turn.
I don't want to speak out of turn here, so.
You've been duly called on.
I work for the Landmarks Association at 911 Washington, and I wrote a letter and submitted it today, and I'm just going to hit a couple of the highlights. Alley houses, they might be common in Soulard, but they're not a very common property type in St. Louis. They're an important property type that demonstrates specific time, the period of settlement and way of life in older working-class neighborhoods. And we believe that such properties can and should be rehabilitated. We think that demolition should be a last resort. In 2013, Landmarks presented a Most Enhanced Award for an alley house that was rehabilitated. The building was in shambles. It was an eyesore that had been vacant for over 10 years. The ceiling and the roof had collapsed, but today the alley house has been fully rehabilitated and it's in use as a private residence. This is at 3339 Missouri Avenue in the Benton Park neighborhood. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, that concludes the testimony before us. Do I hear a motion? Congressman Singer, is the staff recommendation not discussed?
I'd like to with staff recommendation of preliminary approval.
A second? Or discussion? Second. Your argument, sir?
I know that the neighborhood group 2 years ago wrote a letter opposing it, and it happened, and the applicant said they would do it, but, demolition was done anyway. So, I'm not convinced that basically I can take
Commissioners, there's a motion on the floor. It's been made and seconded. I will take a roll to determine the outcome of this. Commissioner Vincent, do you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Colleen, do you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson, do you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Fassner, do you vote yes or no?
Yes.
It is 4 yeses. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Staff's recommendation is upheld. Commissioners, at this point, we need to reconvene to hear appeals of denials. I will note for the record that we have present 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commissioners. Calling agenda item C245 Union. To build this record, I want to introduce your documents, yourself.
I'm not sure if
Introduce your documents. Promise to tell the truth.
I am Jan Cameron from the Coastal Resources Office, and I promise to tell the truth. And I am submitting into the record ordinance 64689 is amended by 64925. That's enabling legislation, and 69423, which is Central Liston Historic District Standards. The agenda, my PowerPoint presentation, and that's it. What we're looking at is this retaining wall, or planter. It's been constructed without a permit between the Congress and the Senate, right? In the Central West End apartment complex at North Union, and at the sign location, the complex has 4 buildings, including a brand new one that is at the rear of the site, which is shown on our map yet. And this will be the main entry to the complex and the parking, which is in the center of the site. The close-up of it, when I took the photo this morning, I noticed that there was something going on in the corner, which wasn't there the last time I visited the site. And that's supposed to be a historic lamp standard light. I haven't seen that design except very in a rendering that was submitted, which you'll see in a moment. But those have not been approved by our office and would require our review. Apparently there is an intent to erect several of them along the street frontage here. One of them in the corner of the planter. The planter is, as you can see, composed of earth block. It's a brown, but this is a pretty good color rendering of what it looks like. And Central West End standards require that any retaining walls be based on a historic model example. This one is not. Historic model example would be brick, could be stone, it would be a mortared wall with an appropriate cap. Taken a couple months ago when this was first scheduled board meeting. This is a better color rendering of it, what it looks like. It really does not go with any of the materials on any of the buildings that States Union. They're generally brick and terracotta and limestone. It has a very contemporary kind of sloped front and a very rustic kind of look to it. Particularly brought out because there is a terracotta face retaining wall right next to it, which you see in the other slide, which is totally appropriate and was obviously designed along this building. There's also this concrete retaining wall. I don't see any permit for that one, but it's relatively innocuous to that. Right on the other side of the entrance. Both of those are adjacent to this. This is a proposal that the owners, the applicant and the owners have sent to us, and they would like to grow ivy over it. Essentially, that would be the only change, but it would obscure to some degree material of the wall and its shape. With rendering, I should say a lot of this landscaping has been installed, and there you can see the proposed historic lamp. So the staff is recommending that the wall be altered to comply with the historic district standards and that it reflects the appearance of the historic retaining wall using materials that are compatible with the highly significant building shape.
Questions, Commissioner?
I do have a question. You mentioned that there were other lighting standards apparently being placed. Is that part of a...
I don't know if they've been placed yet. I noticed the pier and wiring.
Just on the same property or on that?
The owner's representative can probably be more precise, but based on the renderings that were submitted, it seems to be going down the street. Yeah, you can see just to the left of the upper slide, you can see that they go down the street. They're on private property, they're not street facing.
Daniel Weller? Afternoon.
Good afternoon, thank you.
We're trying to build a record, so tell us your name and address.
Daniel Weller, I live at 265 Union Boulevard, St. Louis, Missouri, 63108.
Will your testimony be the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, note, there are 5 commissioners present. Commissioner Richardson has recused himself. Okay? Proceed.
Thank you. So the intent of the wall, if we would be able to pull back up, is that you would never actually see the wall itself. The ivy would grow over it. The pictures that you saw originally of the existing wall from this morning, those are some plantings that were required by the building association. The intent of the actual monument sign, the area, is to be the focal point of our property and of the neighborhood of that section. This will be, quote-unquote, our base. We want all attention to be coming towards the monument sign itself. So the landscaping, the architecture, the wall is very important to us. We want it to match the buildings. We think that the ivy, the intended ivy that we will be planting will cover up the wall itself, so you would never see it. We do have in the last section of my PowerPoint presentation a list of the different items that we'll be planting in the area, which does include seasonal flowers as well. The lamppost there has not, we have the base of it poured. We have not actually chosen the actual lamppost yet. We're waiting for approval on that. but it will match the front of the existing lampposts that are on the front of the Westmoreland building at 245 Union Boulevard. So that is, we're keeping along with the historic nature of the building and the property.
Approximately $1 gazillion into this project so far.
We have, over the past 3 years, I've been on site, I've lived at the site 265 Union, that's been my home for 3 years now. I took over the property as general manager about 3.5 years ago. I've spent countless hours my entire life. My career is
That you would end up here behind that lectern was relatively predictable, given the attention that the project has received both from neighbors and from us. What happened?
Could you clarify?
So while it is apparently non-compliant, your solution is to grow ivy over the top of it.
Correct.
Had you constructed a compliant wall, the question of ivy would be relevant or irrelevant.
Correct.
Was it overlooked, or was it a conscious intention not to comply?
It wasn't a conscious intention not to imply. We had the retaining wall was to do
The
itself.
project is great,
Thank you.
and we like the project.
Good. So, the thing that's in question is, are we going to be able to see the wall on a daily basis? So are we going to be able to drive by? Is it going to be, in line with what the neighborhood wants, with what, the historical society wants? But the intention is never to see the wall. It'll be covered up 365 days a year. So it's just to hold up the dirt and the ivy that we're going to be planting there.
That is a good argument for planting ivy, but not an answer to my question, how did you come to build a non-compliant wall?
I wasn't a part of that project.
Commissioners, further questions?
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Where is your property line right here? The wall comes right into the sidewalk.
Correct.
Frequently, the right-of-way lines will put behind the sidewalk. That's not going to be particular if this is not.
I don't know that personally, no.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One more thing to add, if I could. Sure. I should mention before is that while I don't have anything writing from the census, and my understanding is that it presents a wall to the city, and they were not in favor of it at the time.
Is that your understanding also, sir?
Correct, with the way it looks now, which is without ivy or any fencing that we intend.
Is your impression if it had ivy on it, they'd be okay with it?
The end result, yes.
Is your impression that it had ivy on it, they'd be okay with it?
No.
Commissioners? Motion, please. Tony?
Yes, I move that the Preservation Board uphold the Director's denial of the retaining wall as constructed and it does not comply with the Central West End Historic District standards. And direct the applicant to remove the existing wall or revise the design of the wall to follow the correct standards.
Okay. I'm going to rule that motion out of order, only because it includes an element that I do not believe is in our authority to do. So, if you would like to remake a motion that simply upheld the director's denial, I would rule that in order.
Second.
Okay.
So second.
That makes sense to you? Okay. Discussion?
Well, there's not enough permits, we don't know what's underneath there. I didn't hear David, you were talking about that. If they built that over kind of an easement or something, and we agreed to this, it's really, so, well, it just really doesn't belong.
heard the last argument in terms of parking to the ordinance.
Would have any way to make sure that ID is maintained over the years.
No,
Is that a good solution?
No, the fourth.
What is what's the sign issue?
Site for concrete walls, they're not. You can still get it, we're putting it on.
There's a motion on the floor, it's been made and seconded. I will call a roll. Commissioner Kavanaugh, you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Killeen, you vote yes or no? Yes. Commissioner Simmons, you vote yes or no?
Yes.
There are 3 yeses, the motion carries. The staff denial is upheld. Calling agenda item B, 402224.
Up and swear to tell the truth. And to enter into the record ordinance 64689, amended by 64925, and 59400, the Shaw neighborhood district.
Is your testimony the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
This is 4022 to 24 Tatansi. As you can see, the entry here, the building, it has been altered. The entry doors and transom were installed without a permit, and we received a complaint regarding the doors and transom from citizens of this borough. Investigated, a citation letter was sent, and the owner replied. It was denied, the owner appealed. The solicitation. This is a photo of the building previous to the work being done. As you can see, the doors were, although the transoms had been boarded, the openings were intact. This is the close-up of what was there, and the current doors on the west side. And I also noticed when I went out there that there had been work done to the top of the porch furnace. I mentioned that to the owner, that they were not finished with the work, that they were matching what was there, and it was other permits, but that's not it. This is the hookup of the installed without permit. As you can see, the 2 transoms are now single transom. The center mullion is much more narrow than originally was, and the doors are contemporary design and not just style of the building. Just context across the street and side building. Configuration of the doors and transoms do not replicate the historic configuration, and the change from 2 transoms to single transom and elimination of the mullion dramatically alters the appearance of the building. The style of the doors do not replicate what would have been there, or even what's on the other side of the building. The building next door actually has the same configuration as this one. Its transoms are intact. The doors, its doors have been approved.
replaced. And these are probably replacement doors that have been replaced at one time, not necessarily the original doors. But the original doors would have been half glass or 3/4 similar to what's there. But it's definitely not. Or the resources office is asking that the preservation board hold staff for the director's denial as the doors and trailers do not meet the child neighborhood.
Any questions? Thank you. Mr. Everett? Good afternoon, Mr. Everett.
Good afternoon.
We're going to try to build a record, so tell us your name, your address,
I'm 4022 Daytona.
and is your testimony going to be the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
First, I'd like to say to you all that the doors that were installed, which we installed the original doors some 12 years ago, were to replicate what was this door. As we went through the years, they did not hold up, and they were not weather efficient there at all. And it was at the point to where it was like almost living outside. I knew through talking to Dan Cameron some years ago that normally you apply for permits to the doors, and any changes outside. We started doing some things which were just cosmetic, removing aluminum from the outside of the doors and those types of things, outside of the transfer, and those types of things. When we did, we found that the lumber was bad. So this thing went from one point to another point real fast. And in so doing, we ended up changing the doors. I thought that as I went around the neighborhood and saw this same door at several different places, that it was now deemed okay. I came to find out that it was not okay, and I came to find out that I needed to apply for another permit to install doors. So we did that. In my estimation, the thermal door is a much better door. It also has been seen throughout that neighborhood at various points, and I do have pictures of a place right around the corner, Thurman and Shaw, who had those exact doors at that location.
Would you like to introduce them into evidence?
Yes, I would.
Okay, give that to Adonna down there, please. She'll mark it.
And as a matter of fact, I have several of them. I'm not here to, in any way, try and dissuade what you do in the community, because what my intention is to bring the property to the same exact verification of those houses on the other side of it. As you look at what was going on over there, we're trying to just bring the house up to standard. The interior is working out very well. We like to make it so that we can sell. As originally done, it was divided to be townhouse. So my intent at the end is to sell it. That's why I was trying to bring it up to a good standard. Basically all I have.
Was it your intention to replace the doors on both sides?
Yes, we have 4 doors. They told me to stop work, not to do anything,
apply for a permit.
It was wise to stop.
Oh, when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, I don't need, no problems, and it's definitely, I gotta do it right.
Do you have financial information on cost, expense, cost, replacement, cost of taking it out?
Well, I didn't do
The project's ability to support those costs, et cetera?
in terms of what it costs to do that, or what it would cost to put it back the way it was.
Yeah, both.
I can do that, but I'd have to sit down and do it, off the top of my head. I could tell you an accurate amount. But like I said, those doors, when I went to get doors milled, they were around $1,000 a piece. And I saw the manufactured doors that I saw around the corner for half that amount. I thought maybe it could be viable. I mean, I do have to say I really didn't, consult who I probably should have consulted.
Would that be Jan?
Yes, that would be Jan. I talked to Jan afterwards, and she told me, well, you messed up. This is what you gotta do. Apply for a permit, get the pictures down, and see how it goes.
Commissioner's question?
Do you still have the door that you used to have over there on the right-hand side?
Those doors are weather worn. They got hit by the water so bad that they swore. See, that's a solid core door which we cut the glass into and did a lot of work on to make it work some 10, 12 years ago. But over time, water just got to the doors and it just started swirling. And then again, underneath the door, we did everything that we could to get it to be airtight and efficient, but it was just not efficient.
And that's one of the reasons people get building permits, they don't make very getting what they have to do. And with other doors, they are not compliant, so nobody calls upon it. And in other words, they're not right either. Once they decided, it would be nice in another situation.
Well, if you look, I said, if you look right around the corner, Thurman and Shaw,
I know.
they're right there.
But they're not right either.
And I'm not saying that, well, excuse me, I'm not saying that they are right. I'm just saying that I just want to know what I saw. And again, I may be wrong for that.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Richardson, the motion.
Move that the Preservation Board uphold the Director's denial of Andrew Norris should not be filed with the Shawnee District.
Is there a second to that motion? Motion made and seconded. Commissioner Richardson, your argument?
Well, it's pretty clear they're not in compliance with the Historic District Code standard. We don't really have evidence to support a purchase area.
Further discussion? Commissioner, with the motion before us, seconded, support that denial. Commissioner Richardson, you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Fafner, you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Byzantine, do you vote yes or no?
Yes.
Commissioner Kalief, do you vote yes or no? Okay. 4 yeses, the motion carries. The staff recommendation that denial is upheld. Commissioners, we're going to take a 5-minute break.
Hello, how are you? Good, how are you doing? Good to see you. Oh, there was a test I know, sometimes I go to some of the other communities and they have anything. Well, yeah. I was
Now,
Which you did.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
okay, I guess,
I'll be sending it
It's like we have years and years. It's going up to about.
Well, that's awesome.
How much went that?
They're not.
I know, but then when like, you know, I think you would see, you know, I didn't know if you had the government experience, I think that would be really good for you. No, when we think about somebody going into the transit office, you know, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think
oh,
I don't think you would get the rules that you would get on members But actually, the person It's so wonderful.
Hey, Rob. Hey, what's up? How are you? Good, how are you? What kind of name is Square?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. No, my contract. Look at see, you can do that.
Anybody have a
You're happy?
Yeah, if I come back and get a bill.
She said they're gonna let you go back and do this. I'm really amazed. I thought they had better changes on the email. I know they said, I texted that immediately and
He really turned that around, I know it, all the way around.
Okay, this guy's really good.
Well, we're doing one for Patty Connor.
That's right.
That's right, that's all we need. Yeah.
It's so good, my pleasure.
I'm still waiting, I'm like, yeah.
I'm going to have business for the rest of me before we
That street. Tiger Lily. Oh, it is. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
So now I'm missing the point. See if I can find that.
Reed was deferred.
Okay, I got it.
Reed was deferred.
Okay, yep,
Now it's behind.
got it all, thank you.
And for friends, you know, people don't. They have a different. There's that movie. You young again? Great.
I know, I don't want to go. Why is he here? So there, Commissioners.
It's on there, yeah.
We have nominations in the National Register. Is there anyone?
Nobody said that. They're all equally strong candidates.
Agreed. Commissioner Rickenbacker, I know that you've read the presentation. Is there, questions or anything that you would particularly like? Or okay, I will have to make that motion. Get ready. Commissioner, you want to hear a single motion?
Oh, I got one.
Okay. Meeting of the Preservation Board is back in order. We're now approaching agenda items having to do with nominations for the National Register of Historic Places. Commissioner Visitator, do you have a motion to make?
Yes. I would like to move that the board direct staff to prepare a report to the State Historic Preservation Office that the three agenda items, E, F, and G,
Or D, E, and F, as they're sitting before me?
yes, amended, meet the requirements of National Register criteria, A and B for E, A for E,
You're good and fine. You can go with it.
I think the right one.
If you get these wrong, we're going to hit them all.
A and C for D. A and C for E, and C, and A for F.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations. Kathy?
And I will comment, I think they're all very good.
It was wonderful, we enjoyed reading it.
Rob, here, do we want to agree to meet on May 18th? Labor Day, Memorial Day,
I will not be in St. Louis on that day. However, that does not mean you all could not meet.
I may be out of town, and I'm on
Anybody at work?
What works for me?
I did. Commissioners, has anyone read the minutes from the March 23rd meeting?
I did. I move to approval of the March 23rd, 2015 minutes.
Is there a second? Motion which almost failed for lack of a second, now has a second. Is there any discussion here or not? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Opposed? Those will be minutes for the March 23rd. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Then we stand adjourned.